The Grind, a Minnesota sports podcast.
Welcome into the show. It's been 12,308 days since the Minnesota Twins hoisted the World Series trophy. It's been since 1991, the year I was born. And I promise you, I'm trying to find and break the curse. I thought, when the curse started in 91, that's the year I was born. Maybe I'm the reason for the curse. What if I have descendants of myself and that will break the curse? Well, I have a daughter, the curse isn't broken. Then I have a son. It's got to be the son. The curse still ain't broken. Maybe now that we're having our third child, good things come in three. Maybe the curse will be broken in 2025 or 2026. It'll have to be 2026 because our third son is being born in October. Or daughter. We don't know their gender. But I promise you, I am doing everything in my power to figure out this curse. Kirk Cousins spoke yesterday. He is a part of season 2 of quarterback, as he was season 1. So cameras are following him everywhere, which is interesting because he does not seem like a guy that loves the camera. He does not seem like a guy that's infatuated with being followed and being seen. But his decisions or the amount of money that he's receiving from Netflix is indicating that he loves being followed by a camera. And we've all seen his comments by now, or at least heard his comments, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I need to tell you about 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours, and that is their promise. I'm talking about our entire bathroom, from the floors to the shower, to the countertops, to the mirror, to the sinks, to the vanity. They even removed a step and handrails. New surround, got rid of our mold. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis increased the value of our home in 48 hours. Increasing the value of your home comes in 2 spaces, the kitchen and the bathroom. We remodeled our entire bathroom, got it back in 48 hours, and increased the value of our home. Affordable payment plans and free consultations. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Give them a call. Welcome them into your house. They'll give you samples. They'll give you a free examination and consultation. And there's affordable payment plans. Convenient, fast, efficient, amazing. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Contact them today. All right, Kirk Cousins got in his feelings in episode 1 of season 2 on quarterback and had this to say. Certainly, if I had that information around free agency, it would have affected my decision. I had no reason to leave Minnesota with how much we loved it there. If both teams were going to be drafting a quarterback high, and he is referring to the Atlanta Falcons blindsiding him by drafting Michael Penix Jr. with their 8th overall pick in the first round. And Kirk, immediately following the draft pick, it was leaked to one of the insiders that Kirk was dumbfounded or shocked by the Falcons' decision to draft his replacement. And that is the reason why he left Minnesota. Minnesota was clearly going in a different direction. They were going to draft a quarterback, whether it was McCarthy or Drake May or Jaden Daniels. One of those quarterbacks was going to be a Minnesota Viking. And Kirk knew that. So credit the Vikings for being honest with Kirk and letting him know this is the deal. We're going to sign you to a 1 or 2 year deal at max, and you are going to be the bridge guy to the rookie quarterback that we select in the 2024 NFL draft. So Kirk looked at his options and surveyed the landscape. Okay, I could sign here for this amount. I could stay here for this amount. And right now, Kirk and his comments is all regret. Oh, I never would have left. I would have stayed if I knew the circumstances. But my question to ask Kirk is a very simple one. Would you? Would you have stayed now knowing the circumstances? Because the Vikings, their offer for Kirk was roughly 1 or 2 years, at most probably $70 million. 1 year, $35 million a year, times that by 2 years, $70 million. That's probably the max they're going to give Kirk. When Kirk Cousins signed with the Atlanta Falcons, they gave him a $50 million signing bonus and $90 million in guaranteed money. And the deal that was signed included a 4-year, $180 million deal. You could make up to $180 million in this deal. So at the end of the day, you factor in everything. And Kirk Cousins, in the 4-year deal that he signed with the Falcons, could have earned over $100 million more with that deal than the deal that he could have signed by staying with the Minnesota Vikings. So we're getting a very reflective Kirk. I wouldn't have left if I knew the circumstances. I wouldn't have left if I knew both teams were going to draft my replacement. But would you have? $180 million, $75 million, $70 million. You break them down and you analyze them and you examine. Okay, I could make $180 million in 4 years compared to $70 million. And it's a 4-year contract versus a 2-year. If Kirk knew the situation, his decision still would have been the same. Because one thing that we know about Kirk Cousins is that he loves himself some money, as all professional athletes do. So I think it's unfair to say Kirk loves money and he just went after the paycheck. That's what you're supposed to do. It's what we all would have done if we're in Kirk's situation. So don't call the guy a dumbass when we all would have made the same decision. In this moment, after these comments, we're seeing Kirk go into the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But in this case, the grass was greener on the other side because the green represents money. And the Falcons offered Kirk Cousins the most amount of money that he could get on the market as an NFL quarterback who was an unrestricted free agent. So, although Kirk is saying, I never would have left Minnesota, I would have stayed, and we would have rode off into the sunset being a starter for a year and then a backup the next year, I don't buy it. Because the dollars in the contracts that were offered to him speak way louder than the quarterback that was drafted. Because the Falcons, as much as Kirk feels like he was blindsided, the Falcons, when they signed Kirk Cousins, also did not know that they were drafting Michael Penix Jr. Because if they did, they wouldn't have signed Kirk to a 4-year, $180 million deal with $90 million guaranteed. They would not have hamstrung their cap situation this badly if they knew they were going to draft Michael Penix Jr. out of the University of Washington. So, Kirk's in his feelings, and I'm sure we all would be, because he was blindsided. But the Falcons were also blindsided by their love for Michael Penix Jr. because they did not know that they were going to draft him. Kirk also weighed in on throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. He says, when you see someone dating the person you used to date in like high school or college, you're like, I used to throw to Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson. And now someone else is enjoying doing that. So again, Kirk is living in this ideology of, if I only knew the situation, I'm very jealous, I'm very envious, I'm bitter with the Falcons. I wish I could go back to Minnesota and throw to Addison and Jefferson. And he's being very reflective. But the one thing that he is not being reflective on is the contract that the Falcons and Vikings offered. Because in reality, this was Kirk Cousins' last shot at making a big deal in the NFL, because he's going to retire soon. The dude's almost 40. So, as good as it sounds, as reflective as he is, as sad or regretful as he was to leave the Vikings, I think he still would have left, because it's what we all would have done. Sure, the grass isn't always greener, but in this case it was. More piles and piles of money. And what professional athletes care most about, as any of us would, is the money, is the dollar. Because the dollar, going back to what Kirk said, it's not about the dollar, it's about what the dollar represents. What? That's such a load of crap. Because what the dollar represents is what the dollar amount is. If you're getting $180 million in 4 years, that dollar represents that a team wants you. If you're getting $60 million or $70 million in 2 years, well, then that is a representative. That deal is representative of someone that doesn't care as much as you. So it's not about the dollar, it's about what the dollar represents. It's the same thing. The dollar is what the dollar represents, and what the dollar represents is the dollar. So, anyways, made no sense. But that's the take for the day. I'll be back tomorrow. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today. And remember, hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. And thank you for going on this podcast and journey with me. We've got to break the curse. It's coming.